May the 12th, 2025. Guys, you're looking at the National Weather Center right now. We've got 2 or 3 things going on we need to pay attention to. One is there's a tornado warning right here in North Carolina. These storms have been popping up all day, and you can see there's high winds mixing with warmer air, but you can tell by the gale warnings offshore. See that? Now here in northeastern Alabama, you got a severe thunderstorm warning. Could turn into a tornado. That's usually when they start. And neither one of these sections are good news. And if we look over in Texas, it's not much better, because this is a severe heat warning that has been issued. And it's going to be, as a matter of fact, some of the heat indices in Austin tomorrow in the late afternoon will be 106, temperatures like that. And more than likely, this is going to be moving east. So guys, this is the first major heat wave that we've seen so far this year. We've been very fortunate. Right now, it is 4:58 p.m. Central. It is 72 degrees, feels like 78. That's because it's been raining for about 3 days. We had a lot of cloud cover, and we've had that low pressure system spinning over us. First, let's go to the tornado warnings. You guys in North Carolina, pay attention to this, and if you need to stop the video to take shelter or let other people know about it, you do that. You can always come back and watch it later. But let's check that out. And this is what we got right here on the border. This is Rocky Mount, and the storm is east and just slightly north of Rocky Mount. It's headed up to Roanoke Rapids and then Amory across the border here. There's storms all the way back and offshore. Here's Jacksonville right here. You can see the entire coastline. And remember, we have the gale warnings offshore. So this has kind of been the leading edge of it, and it has been happening throughout the afternoon. Some severe thunderstorms, occasional tornadoes popping up, and now here we go again. And what has just happened, you saw the tornado warning that we were looking at initially is in the second frame, where it's smaller. But now they've enlarged the area headed up to the Roanoke Rapids, guys. And so if you're in this area, you got to take shelter. All the necessary warnings. Get into an interior area. If you're in a mobile home or a camp or something like that, that's not safe. But if you're not in one of those areas, you have friends or family that you know of that are, do your duty now and make sure you call them and let them know what's going on, or they may not have power and you may need to get in there and help them. Now this time that you're seeing here is Eastern, EDT, and it's 5:04 here as I'm speaking Central Time, so it is 6:04 there. It's saying at 5:56 Eastern. Tornado warning remains in effect until 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time for South Central Halifax County. Now it's moving. It says a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Scotland Neck, or 14 miles north of Tarboro, moving north at 20 miles per hour. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roof, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Anytime you have that, you have power outages. Now the source is radar indicated rotation. Doesn't say if they've spotted a debris cloud or not. Again, if you're there, you take shelter, and this is not over just because this warning goes on, guys, for another 10 minutes. You see the storms coming off the Atlantic and moving northeast. This is the first tropical low pressure system, or subtropical, whatever you want to call it, of the year. It's setting up, and it's an early warning. Plus, we have this massive heat wave coming in out of Texas. And guys, it's something we've been dreading after 2 years ago, something we've been dreading, knowing it was coming, but we have such a nice reprieve here because of the cooler temperatures along with the rain. And let's look at the nation with the infrared satellite, and you're going to show you the moisture and the storms here. Now, it does not look that severe here in North Carolina, guys, but you see it for yourself. Just in the light yellow area, see that right there? That's where the tornado is. Now, but look, coming off the coast of Florida. Now, of course, Cuba's getting involved. This would be just north and northwest of Gitmo, right there. But for the last few days, we've been catching this, and all the panhandle of Florida's been catching it. You guys and us are getting somewhat of a drying out day to day. Again, like I said, this is an early warning of what's coming from the Atlantic off the coast of Africa. The first ones will form either in the Gulf of America or in the Caribbean normally. But look right here. See this? That's bringing in the heat wave, guys, bringing it in across Southern California, right into Texas, and that's what we need to pay very close attention to. It looks like you got a low-pressure system forming off of the northwestern coast, guys. Check that out. Probably getting some much-needed moisture, and this moisture is very widespread. Again, it doesn't look that intense, but you're seeing what's happening with these storms coming ashore. We have had a tremendous amount of rain here. All the rivers under flood watches and warnings, and they have been. But this has been an unusually heavy rain. Some places had been predicted to get up to a foot over this 3-day period. I haven't seen all the totals there yet, but it seems like it because we've had several times of several hours of very heavy rain. Again, can't complain because you've got to have rain to grow food, right? Now, let's go back to the map. Heat warnings are over a wide area of Texas, but notice the red flag warnings. That's don't burn. And all of this brown and tan is high wind warnings. So this high pressure system setting up is going to bring heat, and may not be record-breaking heat like we're going to see here in the first initial major heat wave, but it's going to be building there, which would be a build-up, guys, in my opinion, behind this one. And that's what we don't want, but we're going to have to deal with it. And we know that things are going to get hotter. And that I did a video a few days ago where the scientists were talking about going into this 50-year cycle, that the 11.5-year solar cycles would become more intense, and that would give us about 4 cycles or so. And so that's, again, 50 years of heating. As far as the solar cycles, when they increase, we get more energy, get more heat pushed into the atmosphere of the planet, more radiation, all of that. But let's take a look down in here into Texas, guys, and see what you're going to be dealing with. Now, Austin, San Antonio, guys, all my friends in Texas, I was born in Austin, Texas. Thank you. Now, I spent most of my life and was raised here in Mississippi after about my first 3 years, I think. But I've always had an affinity for Texas. Still have a lot of family there in the Houston area, brothers and cousins and things like that. Anyway, this is the early season heat wave, and it's arriving tomorrow. It says moderate to major risk of heat-related impacts. Many not acclimated to this heat and so earlier in the year. And it makes it twice as bad if you've been spoiled like we have been here in central Mississippi, and maybe further, because even though it's been rainy and muddy, the temperatures have been so easy to deal with. But in Austin, and list the different areas here, Fredericksburg, Georgetown, Gonzales, Del Rio, etc. Everyone's heard of Eagle Pass, the infamous border crossing, right? But today it was, this is the maximum temperature, 98, Tuesday 108, Wednesday 109, Thursday 105, backing down to 104 on Friday. Now, maximum heat index, this is the forecast in degrees Fahrenheit. Same place, we'll use Eagle Pass. 94 today was the heat index, tomorrow 104. That means that the humidity is going to be low. That's good. 106 Wednesday, 101, 102. See that? low humidity, that makes a difference. And when this moves south, moves east, and it deals with a southern wind coming off the Gulf of America, then the humidity kicks in, it adds into the heat, and that's when it really gets tough when you get out the areas we're talking about. Not that it's easy, guys. We were going to the birth of our second grandchild over in Phoenix. We were over there, and it was in Austin, and it was so hot. You didn't have the humidity, but when you got out of the car, especially if you're from the south here, you just about had to run inside because it was a blast furnace. You had wind. Of course, it's a desert town, that Phoenix is. But the heat was intense again, it was, you step out, you're in like a hair dryer blowing on you or something like that. I've never experienced that, but it's rough here in its own way. And you can see through here, and that looks like kind of the hottest area is the Eagle Pass area. But if you look in Austin today, 92, tomorrow, maximum temp, 103, Wednesday, 105, Thursday, 102, Friday, 101. Doesn't vary much from that in Austin. See that? 101, 104 as far as a heat index. And then if you put it on the real field, if you have a thermometer, you will see a difference from this. It'll jump from what you're seeing on the heat indices on the right. I have two of them that are switchable. You got real feel, you have heat index, right? And you've got, some of them says feels like. But anyway, this is what they're looking at for the area. What is it saying? High. Forecast confidence is high, 80 to 100% confidence and triple-digit heat and the potential of daily record high temperatures. What to do? Drink plenty of water, limit strenuous outdoor activities, take breaks, often in the shade or air conditioner. Do it, guys. I'm going to have to. And the rain has really kind of kept us inside the last few days, but it's limited things I needed to get outside, but it's been kind of a break that needed rest, very much needed. Anyway. It says, know the symptoms of heat illness. Check up on the people that you know, the elderly, the very young, anyone really out in it. And you can have a heat stroke before you know it. And if it happens, you'll know it. And it never goes away, and it becomes so much easier. You can't enjoy going to the beach like you did in that summer or boating because it's so much easier for these symptoms of this massive headache, lack of appetite, nausea, bad vision, all of that to hit you very quickly. And once it happens, it's too late. The only thing that I ever saw that helped and to recover from it was there's different things. You need electrolytes like Gatorade or orange juice and some Dramamine, some car sickness pills to help you keep the liquids down because it dehydrates you and you cannot rehydrate. It's very, very, very dangerous. For you guys out there that's had that type of heat stroke or you know what I'm talking about. And I've explained it to people before. I remember some of my sailing buddies. And they didn't understand till it happened to one of them, and they let me know about it. They said, now we know. And it's terrible because, like I said, it debilitates you pretty rough. It's kind of like these solar storms, and when you add those together, it's rough. But again, don't let it happen to you because it will not go away. Now, I'm working on another video that I think a lot of you will find interesting. Don't know if I'll get it up. I may get a little bit of information up and give you some links to check it out. And it has to do with going back to the oldest text from the Jewish people, much older than the Dead Sea Scrolls, much older than the Old Testaments. And you may have heard of them. They were found on the island of Elephantine in Egypt. And they weren't called the Jewish people. They were called the Yahwist at that time. but they were the same group. They were from that area. And the name of Yahweh, the God of Israel, and it was a Canaanite God, he is inscribed in some of the hieroglyphs. And that's the first known name of Yahweh that's been written down that they found. And again, it's it's not the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it's similar. But it comes from, again, an island in the Nile called Elephantine. And there was a Yahweh settlement there. After the point of a few raids coming in to Jerusalem, people moved south. And again, that was kind of the edge of that section of Egypt, the Elephantine Island. And it was right where they called the cataracts, guys, or rapids, where you went into the larger areas of the Nile River out into the Mediterranean. But at that section where the Elephantine Island was rapids and very hard to navigate. So that's where they put up their fortifications to guard their section of Egypt, up through all the way into the Nile and again into the Mediterranean. And it appears from what it looked, the Egyptians ran it, but it was a couple other people there that had, it was like mercenaries. And the Yahvis, or the Jewish people, had troops there and there's a couple forts on the island that guarded Egypt, and they were paid. And they had their families there and all, and they had history over hundreds of years written. And it's the oldest Jewish writings that they found. It's amazing. They don't talk about it a lot. A lot of you are familiar with it, but that's the kind of where the video starts, and it leads into some things that are deeper. I will try to get a little bit of that up and put some links in so you can be taking a look at it. Right now, let's get this done, guys. Again, I hope you guys in that tornado area, or if you had friends there, you already paused this and took care of business. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.